fake, they'll lie. Oh, my goodness. Do we really focus on the pathological lying? Like how, like, not their ability to lie, because a lot of lying isn't that uncommon, but their type of lying is a different bracket because these people are smart people. Like, they're smart people. Like, they know how to twist everything. You know, like, they won't tell a regular lie that, like, you know, that's like, oh, come on now, man. You know, like, they'll tell a lot. They'll make you'll believe it. You'll be sucked into it. I don't care if they cheated, they had someone in your house, and you come home, and they're undressed, the other person is undressed, you know, and they're sitting down, they're like on the sofa. Let's say they're on the sofa, not the bedroom, but on the sofa. And, you know, they will come up with something. I don't even know how you would be able to even think so fast as to why, but, you know, they'll think of something, you know. They'll think of something, and by the time they're done, you will be second-guessing your own integrity. Like, you'll be second-guessing yourself. Like, I seen them. She when I left, you know, she was fully dressed. When I came back, all she had on was a shirt and her underwear, and there's some guy I never seen before in the house, but she swears that's her cousin. And they was just having lunch. You know? And you'll be like, really, they'll make you feel so bad. You don't trust me. Like, they'll be, and next thing you know, you're second guessing yourself, and you're like, maybe that is her cousin. I never seen them, never heard of them. Maybe that really is her cousin. Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe it's me. They have that ability. So the lying, like, Samantha, how much lying? If you could even estimate how many lies you think this guy told you throughout your 4-year relationship. What would be your guess?
Like thousands probably. Like, and that's not even exaggeration. And you said it perfectly too. At the pathological line, they are compulsive liars, and it'll even be about simple things that most people wouldn't lie about. You know, like they just constantly lie. And to me, lying is exhausting. You have to, okay, what did I tell this person? Okay, what was that story? Where did I leave off? You know, and it's such hard work. Whereas sociopaths, it's like second nature. They can pull it out of their hat basically within seconds. And how rapidly and quickly they come up with something, honestly, is amazing. Like I have to give them credit for that in that way because they are so convincing and they come up with the most outrageous excuses, but then they make sense somehow. So, it's really, really impressive in what they do. But, yeah, the amount of lying that happened, you know, it's sometimes even still years ago that this happened. You know, God, I think we finally parted in, like, 2012, I think. And sometimes, like, I don't think about it often, but years afterwards, I would all of a sudden realize, oh, you know what he had told me at such and such time? That was a lie, too. And so you have these moments where you look back on the relationship and you're like, okay, that doesn't make sense either. Oh, my God, that was a lie, too. And you just realize this whole web of lies is really the foundation of that entire relationship. And you kind of are left wondering who the heck it was that you were dating. And you're like, what the heck was that? You know, and you're kind of really confused as to what was even truth and what was even real. It's like all kind of like a fantasy almost, like a horrible nightmare. And it's very confusing. But, yeah, they just tell millions of lies, basically, that are very convincing and sometimes about trivial things.
Exactly. Now, this is something we also have to discuss, too, to let the people know, you know, we're trying to spread awareness. You won't get closure. Like, there won't be a clear picture painted at the end. You know how, like, in an average relationship with two average functioning people that are normal functioning people, like, all right, courting a lie, whatever, you know, all right, let's just lay it all on the line now. This is what it is. All right, we're breaking up. Let's just be honest. Maybe we'll somehow find a way to be friends or still be able to say hi and stay Facebook friends and stuff. You know what I mean? But you won't have that closure. And how mentally disturbing is that to have so many questions unanswered that mean so much, you know, like, you know, things involving like infidelity and stuff like that, hitting agendas, did you really love me, you know, were you really serious? Did you really use me? Questions that mean a lot to a person that was really for the long haul. And you're left with these questions, and, you know, the average person is going to want closure. So, you know, Samantha, let's talk about that a little bit, like the fact that, you know, you're unlikely to get any closure, you know, and
right.
you know, how to deal with that, you know. It's very difficult.
Think that's right. It's probably one of the more disturbing parts of it because there's all this chaos that happens and it's abruptly gone. There's a silence, there's an absence, and it's different from when you just have a typical breakup because you're left with all these questions you're wondering and you don't feel validated and there's just all these questions and concerns. And the thing is, it's unfortunate, a lot of people look down upon counseling or, you know, seeking psychological help and things like that. But honestly, I really feel that almost everyone, if not everyone, who's had to deal with somebody with a personality disorder really could benefit from going into talking to a professional or talking to a friend about that to kind of help you unwind that ball of yarn that kind of has formed in your mind with all these questions and wondering. And it also helps because by the time you're done dating this person, your self-esteem has probably been destroyed. And that's something that they excel at. They break you down almost in a military way to get at you, to make you usable, to make you a benefit to them. And so by the time they're done and they leave you, you're kind of like a pile of sludge, at least I was. And it's funny because I look back on that video I made for YouTube, and I really don't like my energy in that video. My personal energy, I seem drained and kind of beaten down and bitter. And so I've done a follow-up video, you know, like years later, recently someone asked me to, and you can tell like a huge difference of before and after. You know, I love myself. I'm happy. You know, I dealt with all the weird lies and stuff that he had told me that I had believed for a while. And so I had to really go back and work on that and work on rebuilding my self-esteem. And because, like, quick example, I had an adult tonsillectomy done, so I took out my tonsils. And I got this really horrible infection, and I lost like 15 to 20 pounds to the point where my body started shutting down. And I lost so much weight, I couldn't eat anymore. I stopped using the restroom, you know, things like that were the point where I was actually starving. And at that point, he had told me, like, hey, you look really good. And so for a long time, I had a really hard time struggling with, like, you know, what is the normal body weight? Like, do I look okay? Am I fat? And, you know, being at a normal body weight, I just felt fat because of the lies that he had told me. And so I just had to really work hard at that and learning to put myself first, which is really hard for a lot of people. And that's something I hope people take away from this, is learning to put yourself first and kind of learn ways to identify if this person you're considering dating is a sociopath. And a little quick thing, I don't know if you want me to get into it or not, or do you want me to wait?
Oh, by all means, this is your world right now.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, one of the things I do is to see if the person has empathy. So say you're on a dinner date with someone, pick something where an average person would ask you to describe more. So say, for example, it's like, oh, you know, today was really difficult. You know, I had a really exhausting day with my children, and kind of leave it at that. And if the person doesn't give you any response or reaction, that should be like strike one in a way. But most people would be like, oh, really? Well, tell me more about it. What happened? You know, I want to know how you're feeling. And they are inquisitive about it. And they'll inquire as to what you mean, you know, and want to know more. Things like that, that's kind of a good clue to see if this person is able to put themselves in your shoes, if they seem to have empathy. But then the other tricky thing is, too, that isn't a foolproof method, because there's so many sociopaths out there that will still play the role of, oh, my God, you poor thing, like, what happened? Tell me more. And so they want to get into your head. And that's one of the big, I guess, discerning things between narcissists and sociopaths. Narcissists just want to talk about themselves. It's me, and mine, whereas a sociopath wants you to talk about yourself. They want to interrogate you, get to know you, learn how they can manipulate and control you. So it's kind of tricky figuring that out, but definitely trust your intuition. If they start asking something of you and need more than what they're giving, that should be a big red flag for you as well.